Hey guys, it's Emma. It's been a while and I'm really sorry about that. I have been really busy and finals is very soon for me, and so I'll probably be uploading more consistently as the summer goes on, but for now it's probably just going to be sporadic until about 2 weeks, where then I'll actually have hopefully some free time. So anyway, let's talk about the title of this video, Top Gun Maverick. So you guys, I literally just watched it. I got home, I'm in my PJs. I was gonna like keep on my outfit that I wore, which was kind of in theme, but honestly I can't be bothered. You might see it in my eyes, but I have terrible allergies right now. So I just figured I can sit in my PJs, we'll get comfy, and I really want to talk about this movie because honestly, I am such a huge Top Gun fan, especially like the original movie, obviously. And I was terribly excited for this, but I was also a bit nervous because a lot of the releases coming out recently are like, it's kind of milking a franchise for all it's worth, basically. For example, like in theaters, we saw trailers for like another Jurassic Park, another Mission Impossible. And to be fair, I don't know really anything about either of those movie franchises. Watched some of them, but like I'm not too into it. And those movies might be good, but right now it seems like the entire like cinema industry is just relying on remakes and redos. And that I was so worried that this movie would fall into this trap of like just being a reboot, a nostalgia trap without like an actual good plot and good stuff, but thankfully that is not the case. I don't think I'm gonna be doing spoilers because it is literally opening night right now when I'm recording this, so I doubt most of you have seen it yet, so I'm gonna try to keep it spoiler free. I don't think I'll give any spoilers because I just want you to go see this movie. Like honestly, it's so good, and like there's just so many aspects of it. The casting, let's talk about that first. It was done perfectly. I urge you to look up like a photo of the cast, and if you know anything about the original movie, the actors, okay, obviously, you know, Tom Cruise, same person, so you can't really improve on that casting, but what really blew me away is the guy that they casted for Goose's son. He was in Divergent, I believe, as Peter, if you guys have seen that movie, which, yeah. So he was Goose's son, and at first it took me a while to recognize like the actor because he looks so much like Goose in this movie. The casting was perfect, and honestly like his characterization too, like the way he walked, it was just perfect. Penny was good as well. I mean, I don't really have a particular feeling about her actress. She was good. All the other pilots, there was, I know this is like such a low expectation, like, oh my god, there's a girl in the movie. But there is a girl in the movie. There's a girl pilot, and she's so cool. To be fair, there's only one, but I liked her actress. Jesus. Yeah, so it's like 10 at night. I think you can tell. Also, they had the guy from, who played John Glenn in Hidden Figures as one of the pilots, and I loved that they had him because he definitely gave, like, Iceman vibes and how he looked. If you've seen the original, you know, like blonde pilot, whatever. But it was a completely different character, and I think he did a great job. And I don't know, just the rest of them, like the other pilots, Bob was funny. That Cougar was good. His actor was really good. A lot of them were really great. I think the casting was really, really good. As for costuming, I'm just trying to think of like aspects that I can talk about that won't actually spoil it, and like, you know, will hopefully encourage you guys to go watch the movie yourself. But costuming was good. I mean, I don't think there's really a lot more they can do with the costuming. It was mostly just a lot of recycled costumes, like Top Gun uniforms. Maverick's jacket came back, etc. I mean, like obviously for Maverick, the white t-shirts. There was a scene of playing sports in jeans again. I know it's like a thing at this point, but honestly, it just makes me cringe. But it's okay, because it's just like a part of the Top Gun cinematic universe at this point, I feel like. Oh my god. Also, the filmmaking, the cinematography of this movie was insane. One of the things that I noticed made a huge difference, obviously the camera quality was like actually insane. We got in the theater, and it was my first time being in the theater for a while because obviously, and it was really just like, it almost looked like, you know, you were looking at something, and maybe that's because I hadn't seen a big screen in forever, but like the camera quality was amazing. And also another thing that I noticed that really made the shots a lot more like immersive and cool was that in the original, obviously, because it was, filmed later ago and the planes were older, you couldn't really see, like, the whole, around them. You could kind of just, because the back of the cockpit, to my memory, was, like, metal. And then there were, like, some side windows here. But in these, it's all glass, and it literally just, like, and so you can see everything that's, like, going on outside with, like, the stunts, the stuff. It's crazy. Honestly, it's literally just so well done. All the shots, all the timing, the lighting was beautiful. That one scene where, like, they're outside of the girls' bar and it's, like, at night and the lights are behind them. I thought that was beautiful. There were definitely a lot of nostalgia callbacks in this movie, but it was to the point where I don't think it was necessarily obnoxious because they weren't out of place. They all felt within the movie, and maybe that's just because I'm someone who has watched the original religiously, but the nostalgia trips didn't feel too obnoxious. Like, the scene, they had a scene of him, I'm sure this isn't the trailer, so it's not a spoiler, but they had a scene of him driving the motorcycle down the runway, which obviously is a classic from the first one, and honestly, even if you hadn't seen the first one, like, it's not out of place. It doesn't feel like them being like, hey, remember this, like it does in some of the new Star Wars movies. I didn't say that. But yeah, I just think it was so good. And then let's just talk a bit about the plot. I'm not going to give many spoilers, but I was quite worried that, like, like I said before, the plot would kind of fall by the wayside a bit, and it would be just more of a nostalgia trip like a lot of the remakes are nowadays, or at least, like, spin-offs, and it would just be more so of a callback than an actual standalone plot on its own. But I think the plot was really good. I think, like, it seemed like a logical progression. It wasn't just them creating some crazy scenario to, like, bring this franchise back to life where it was kind of obvious, like, hey, they just made this up so that they could make another movie. No, it was very, I think, like, the inciting incident, all the things that happened were very, like, accurate and true, like, to things that might have happened. It definitely seemed like a possible future, and I completely believed it. It was really good. And, one thing that I didn't like is Penny's character just might have just been, like, I don't know, for me, but she didn't really get much introduction. We knew when they, like, first met that they kind of, like, I don't think this is spoilers, because she's in the trailer, that they had, like, known each other previously, but, yeah, there just wasn't much explanation for that in the movie, which, like, fine, but as she's one of, a big part of it, I kind of would have appreciated a little bit of context there, especially as they imply that they have a backstory without actually exploring it. That's alright, though. That's just personal preference. That's, like, maybe the one complaint I can come up with if I'm being picky. But yeah, I think it was really good. I liked all the pilots. Like I said before, like, I was just talking about specifically the casting, but I think, like, all the pilot storylines were very, like, or not storylines, just, like, their characters. It didn't feel recycled. It felt like new people, which, yeah, but you'd be surprised, like, it didn't feel like they were specifically mimicking a characteristic of other people. Like I said, the guy who played John Glenn's character, it was, you kind of felt when you first saw him it was a callback to Iceman, but it was a completely different character. I was worried they were just going to be like, Iceman, him. But no, not at all, actually, and I was really glad about that. They all kind of stayed as their own individuals, more so building off of the last movie. I think it was great, honestly. And I know I'm just repeating myself. I sound like a broken record, but I'm trying to, like, give it's more of a first reaction. It's not a review because I'm not going to talk about all the plot points because I'd really like you guys to go see it. It really was a brilliant movie. I can't stress enough how good it was. Like, it had, the soundtrack. The soundtrack was great. It had a lot of elements of the original, but there were also, like, it fit perfectly. And again, it didn't feel outdated. It didn't feel like nostalgia trip. It literally just was amazing. I don't know what else to say. Oh my god, and the action sequences. I know I already talked about this a little bit when I was kind of ranting about the cinematography, but the action sequences, Oh my gosh, they were so cool. And that was like a huge part of the selling point of the first Top Gun was like they actually did the stunts with Navy planes. But like these were another level. And I know that's because it's like a ton of years later or whatever, but yeah, it was wild. So I will be going to this movie about 10 more times, but I just wanted to get an upload out and tell you guys about this because I was grateful enough to be able to go on opening night thanks to my lovely family, and I don't even know what to say about it. Honestly, my sister and I were saying to each other, we're like, it feels like I've had a stroke, but in a good way. And that is what it feels like because it's honestly a little bit of an information overload for me at least, but it's in a total good way. Like, I think I'm just gonna have to process this for like the next 2 days. Just like sit with it. But yeah, if you're looking for a movie to go see, I'd highly encourage you to go see Top Gun Maverick. And if you don't want to go to the movie theaters because you don't feel comfortable right now, I'd really encourage checking it out when it comes out on like Apple TV and other stuff. But yeah, that is my little ramble rant. Sorry, like it was kind of informal, but I figured I'd get out an upload and just talk about this because I don't know, I had a great time, and I kind of split this channel between book and movie reviews, and I've been taking a like video editing and filmmaking class this year, and it's just made me appreciate like movies a lot more, and this one was just spectacular. All right, thank you for listening to my long-winded rant. I'm gonna go to bed now. Bye, guys.